LA-based athleisure wear brand Alo is planning its first Wisconsin store. Andrew Weiland from our partners at BizTimes joins us now to talk about some of the top business headlines this week. Thank you for your time. Before we get into that development, we have to talk about the data center in Port Washington. It just passed a huge vote from the city leaders last night. So what is the plan? What can we expect moving forward?
It's going to be a gigantic data center. What we don't know yet still is who this is for. We have a developer working on this, and we're still waiting to find out who the user will be. But you can count on a big-name tech company ultimately coming in there. Now, it's a 1,900-acre site. What was approved last night was an annexation. The site is just outside the city limits, so the city is annexing. They approved annexing about a third of that site. There are going to be more annexations to come to fully bring that site into the city. And the city also approved the rezoning for it. So it's very clear that the city is supporting this project and moving it forward.
Any idea on what brand names are popping up in conversation? I know that there's been some speculation online.
Think the big names, Google, Facebook, things like that. I would expect something like that.
Something big like that. All right, let's talk a little bit about shopping, if we will, here. The Corners in Brookfield are coming with new developments in the west area for the current site. So that includes Silver Spot Cinema closing, and then Wisconsin's first Alo coming here to Brookfield. It's pretty exciting stuff for people that like shopping there.
There's a lot happening over there. So if you take the Corners of Brookfield site, just to the west of it is some vacant land. There used to be a La Quinta hotel, a couple of restaurants that were torn down. They're going to be expanding into that area with more apartments. There are already some apartments there, but there are going to be 200 some additional apartments, additional retail space. There's going to be, I guess, a signature kind of quote unquote retailer along Blue Mountain. We don't know who that's going to be yet. You mentioned the Alo store. There are some other stores coming in as well, but not there. Over on the eastern side of the Corners is where that's going to be. They're going to be redoing what I believe is called Market Street. That area is also where the cinema is. The cinema is going to be closing, so that space will be repurposed. You have a few new stores coming in over there and also improving that street from a pedestrian point of view. So a lot of changes and expansion coming over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Last thing that we have to talk about is the RNC. The host committee there sharing the final numbers on the convention's economic impact, over $300 million. Is this what you expected to see?
Well, it's more than they were projecting. They were projecting $200 million. Now, these economic impact reports, I think there's always a fair amount of skepticism about where they pull these numbers from. It's a gigantic number. It's much bigger than the gigantic number they were already projecting. From what we saw just watching the RNC play out, I think it's fair to say there was a big economic impact. They said 50,000 people came. A lot of people came to the city and money was spent. But it was also clear that the impact was not evenly felt. Hotels did very well. The hotels were booked solid. They were able to dramatically increase the rates they were charging people, so they benefited tremendously. A lot of restaurants, though, in the downtown area, expecting to see big business, didn't. If you were outside of that tightly secured bubble around Fiserv Forum, a lot of people didn't stray outside of that, and a lot of people who normally would go downtown kind of avoided the area, kind of stay away from the craziness. So a lot of downtown restaurants actually were very slow during the RNC. There's some other businesses we heard from. There were smaller event venues that hosted ancillary events, maybe florists, caterers, dry cleaners who did business around the RNC.
Right.
So there were a lot of places that benefited, but not everyone did.
Yeah, and we also reported on that too, talking to the community and seeing like, hey, we're not getting that promised impact that we were talking about. Well, Andrew, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
You bet.